Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Wow. We're here in this 100-year-old shul. Moshe Snow's shul. His son Chaim Snow is a huge part of the shir. A big video guy. So Yishkoyach, Moshe, Yishkoyach. I just heard, I don't know if this is true, I heard that Meir Shapiro was in this shul. Is it true? Anybody hear this? MS, they're saying it's MS. Meir Shapiro, the Miyaseh of Daf Yomi was in this shul. I don't know how many years ago. 1926, almost 100 years ago. So the shul was just brand new. Unbelievable. Tremendous ishkoyach to the Rav. And the truth is that, and Nitzana told me, it was basically, I was supposed to fly back to Eretz Yisrael on Tuesday. My flight got canceled. And then my niece decided to get engaged on Thursday. So he said, okay, we'll stay for Shabbos. And it sounds like, what, are you crazy? You're going to take a 10 o'clock flight to get to the shir? I said, don't worry about it. Because Baruch Hu loves the Olam here. I'm not going to miss my flight. So we came to O'Hare. And of course, they canceled our flight. And we're not going to make it to New York. There are no flights. There's nothing available. I have to give a tremendous ishkoyach to Rumi Werdiger from Skies Travel, I think it is. Skies Travel? Yes. He got me on the last seat on a flight. I barely made it here. My mishpacha is still in Chicago. Somehow we're going to get to Eretz Yisrael. But the amount of work from the time that we decided to do a shir, and which was basically Thursday, till now people are working around the clock. So it's tremendous ishkoyach to Nasanel Gans. I want to say ishkoyach to Nasanel Gans. He's in the middle of a big program right now that's going on this minute in his office. I was in his office. They're all sitting around there on the phones. They're doing Reb Shai Kastir. He's doing a whole big program for Yad La'achim. He runs that, but he ignored that program. I shouldn't tell his bosses, but he ignored it in order to do the shir. So Yishkoyach, you know what, Rabbi Yisai, l'kovid Reb Shaya, but more so l'kovid Nisanel Gans. Oy 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 Reb Shaya ben Reb Moshe. We have big singers here. Shlomi Dax, is he in the house? Shmaya Fisher, come up. Where are you, Shmaya? Chayai mizoinai revi Reb Shaya ben Moshe. What am I going to sing solo? Reb Shaya ben Moshe. Poi fakla Yisru. Bon, Shmaya, ni kimer. Mizoine revi Chay. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. We gotta warm up our voice side. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Mo yo 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 nachamol. Oh yo yo Reb Shai ben Moshe. Reb Shai ben Moshe. Hoy fakla Yisru. Bune Chaye. Mizoine revi Chay. Reb Shai ben Moshe, Oy v'kla Yisru, Bonei Chayai, Mizoine revi Chay. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. The boy side. A few years ago, more than a few years, before I moved there to Israel, I was tricked into being the guest honoree in a moisid in Chicago. Okay, so I took it. The problem was that it was a Sunday, and that Sunday, Yaakov Shweki came to Chicago. I didn't want to miss Yaakov Shweki's concert. So I told my mishpacha, you go to the dinner, I'll meet up with you. So I went to the concert, and people were staring at me, Mishiga. There's like 1,000 people at the dinner for one of the biggest mosques in Chicago, and then I'm sitting next to the concert. Today, it reminded me because there's a guy here, his name is Eli Sternberg. I don't know, where are you, Eli? Are you here? Somewhere? That's you? Come here, get over here. Livy, get over here. Livy is making a tnaim tonight. He told me, I'm not going anywhere. I got to go to the shir. Mazel tov, mazel tov. I also want to thank Shlomi Rosenberg. Nobody knows who he is. He's a big Lamed Vavnik. He puts in many, many hours into this year. Shkoyach Shlomi, Yisrael Goldstein, of course, you'll see him on the camera, but also he's a big help. Akiva Ziegler, Mo Landy. Shkoyach Mo. The shir is sponsored by Hill Boyer, Lili Nishmas Eliyob, and Avram Zuchron Levracha, Eli Weinberg. The last picture Eli Weinberg took was with me at the last shir in Brooklyn, and he was nifter the next day. At a very young age, I think he was 54. I'm not trying to scare anybody off from pictures with me afterwards. And as Nisanel mentioned, if you join the shir today, you'll be entered into a raffle to win a shas, any shas, even an art school shas. So you go to joindafyomi.com, and you could sponsor Gemaras, mdysponsor.com if you want. Okay, I know I'm missing something, but these shiurim, for me, I'm very, very misragish. I'm full of hispalos. The olam comes together at such short notice. It's a tremendous, tremendous chizik for me, and I really appreciate it. And it's a tremendous chizik for the olam. When you look around and you see all types of yidden, it's a tremendous Kiddush Hashem. So Yishkoyach, thank you very, very much for coming out. It's been almost a month. I mean, the first day I came to America was the last daf of Nazir, and we're holding already daf Chavav. So 25 days on the road, Shiurim in Chicago and New York. So this is the final one, Be'ez Hashem. Hopefully I make my flight there to Israel. Final one, so Yishkoyach. Like saying goodbye to me, Yishkoyach, thank you very much. So I saw a beautiful vart. I could stick it in the middle of shir, but I figure we'll start off like this. Beautiful Zoyar. Lili Nishmasimi Mirosa Ruspas Mordechai, whose yard site is tomorrow. I better make it there to Israel on time. The Zohar says that Reb Chia and Reb Yosi were going somewhere, and they came across a Yid. They weren't sure. They saw a guy that looked like a Metzora. And Reb Chia says, who are you? He says, I'm a Jew. So he says, very interesting thing, he says, when a person has Yisurim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu usually covers them so nobody sees them. Yisurim Shalahava. What you have is not Shalahava. You have to do tshuva. So the guy did tshuva and he was crying. His son comes and says, why are you crying? He says, because the Tanoim, the Heilige Tanoim, Reb Chia and Reb Yosi said, I need to do tshuva. You don't just get saras for no reason. You did something wrong. So the son comes to Reb Chia and Reb Yosi and says, I don't understand. My father is a Yid who sits yoimam v'layla in a room and learns Torah. There's no chet. Where's the chet? Why should he ask for it? Why should he do tshuva? So they told him an amazing thing. They said, sometimes the chet is that you don't talk to people, that you don't give chizik to people. You have to have positivity, inclusivity, all these fancy words. You have to be inclusive. You have to take people in and be mechazik them. A good word, another good word. MDY style. You can't just, oh, I'm learning Torah, I have nothing to do with you. That's also an Aveira. That's what they told him. So I read this in a thing, and he brings there a Maisa. I might have said over the story. Simple Maisa. He's in a supermarket, he sees a guy in a Bluetooth calling somebody up and saying, do you need help? I clean hallways. I do sponge in Eretz Yisrael. You don't need anybody? Oh, you're happy with the guy? Okay, sorry. Another phone call. So the balabas of the store felt bad. So he goes over to him and says, you could do my store, we'll figure something out. This guy says, no, I don't need parnasa, I'm fine. I have a lot of, so why making all these phone calls? He says, nah, I'm just calling the places that I work at. I want to hear a good word. I want them to tell me that they're happy with the people that they have already. And that makes me feel good. One good word, one phone call, one compliment goes a long way. And if you save those compliments, you save those ha'aras, those nice words to the other person, that could be a avla, like the Tanaim said. That could be a problem. First of all, we're talking about Tazriya Mitzayro, Lashon Hara and everything. And I was just thinking about how the chevra of MDY, a lot of people say, wow, how's it happen? What happened here? 20,000 people. Yeah, because it's a close-knit mishpacha. It's close. If people make each other feel good, they say a good word. Some people send each other matanas and packages and different chizukim behind the scenes that we don't always see, and we hear about it once in a while, but it goes on day and night. Those good words, those words of encouragement. The famous Peretz Chaim Levine, who brought more than 400 people to the shir, he calls up people, you're still doing the daf, how's it going? Words of encouragement. All right, Rabbi Isai, we also came to learn a little Torah. So, yesterday, I did something that's illegal in the Daf Yomi world, and that is to learn onto the next Amud, and we basically did a half of the Amud. So, real quickly, I have to say sponsor, sorry. The Koilel is sponsored by Anonymous from Lakewood. The Masech is sponsored by myself, Mr. Eli Stefansky, Eli Nishmas, Menachem Toporovich, Menachem Mendel, Olav Hashem, Ben Yibol Chaim Yeshua Doiv Toporovich. The sponsor of the month, Eli Nishmas Chai Bas Yosef, Parents Achoidish, the entire MDY family, Nishmas Avram Menashe Ben Moshe Aaron. Today in Eretz Yisrael is the 18th day in the Omer. Here in America, it's the 17th. If you didn't say Sfira, it's Kedai to say it now. Refuah Shlema for Rabbi Leo Ben Zissel Dvaira. Parnas Hayoim, Gedalia Miller from Kesher Nafshi, the famous Gedalia Miller. Is he in the house here? Gedalia, how you doing? In honor of Rabbi Eli for Atzlach in Borough Park, yes, I need it. The art of the month for complete refuah for Chaim Tzvi Ben Leah. And of course, Lili Nishmas, Eli Weinberg, Rabbi Leo, Ben Rabbi Avram. Join DafYomi.com. Oh, I was asked to say, this is very interesting. Let's see if this works. No, it's not working. Do you guys see it? Are you able to put it on the screen? Aha. Okay, we have a Chazar program, and some of it is done through Kahoot. If you get this barcode, if you have a Treifa phone, you could do it easy. If you don't, I don't know what to tell you. I don't even know how it works. But basically, it's a Chazar program. At the end of this year, it gives you questions. And I think this is some sort of raffle today, special raffle. Okay, so real quickly, yesterday we were learning about an islandess. Rabbi Nachman says, I'll just read it inside real quickly. Omer Nachman, Machlegs Bakara, but islandess Dibri Akol Shoysa V'Lenitelas Subasa. Rabbi Nachman says halacha. When it comes to an islandess is a woman who was born physically not capable of having children. She cannot be a Sotah. There's no Sotah. She doesn't drink water. she's not shoisa, and she doesn't get a ksuba. This guy should not be married to her, etc. So the Gemara goes through a very, very long brisa until we get to the bottom word in the brisa. It's 20 lines long, and that will be a kasha on islanders. You say islanders cannot be a Sotah. The last word in the brisa says an islanders could be a Sotah. So let's go through it quickly, just on the screen here. Arusasai does not drink water. She cannot be a Sotah. Why? She's only semi-married. She got the ring, but she's not fully married. It has to be a wife. Also, her husband died. She's waiting to see if the Yavam will be miyabim. Her chalitza, not fully married, doesn't drink. Mures, menekes chaveroi. You have a person married a woman he shouldn't marry because she's pregnant or she's nursing. You're not allowed to marry for 24 months. He married her. A young man who married an akara, a skena. He shouldn't be marrying an akara and a skena because he doesn't have children. And therefore, I skipped over here. By the Minekes, we have Machlokes. Rameir says that he can never marry her. According to Rebbe Elazar, he could marry her. Chacham say he could. Fine. You wait the 24 months, you could. The Akara, Skena, Loishaisa, Belein tells Ksuba, but Rebbe Elazar says you could. Machlokes. Why? Because you can marry another woman. Just because you don't have children and she's old doesn't mean that you're over Isser. You can just marry another wife. Now, okay, the Gemara says, I don't want to skip here, it's not on the chart. That's if it's his arusa, it's his shomer, they got married, then it's the regular halacha, she drinks. If it's his own wife who's pregnant and nursing, of course she drinks. The chiddush is that she drinks even though it could kill the Vlad. Taisus argues, you have to wait a little bit. Okay. Where are we holding? Eishes mamzer. Okay. Eishes mamzer. A woman who can marry a mamzer. Eishes nasin. Ve Eishes ger. And Eved Meshucher. And finally, we have an islandess, and all these I just said, the Eishes nasin, mamzer, ger, Eved Meshucher, island. Boom. Okay. What's Meloshan Ayol, a ram? And this is the Lachluchas woman that we had from Nedarim. This is how the Gemara depicts her. She has a very round face, round eyes, giant lips. Lachluchas. He put her in there today, Yoshi covered Borough Park, as the islandess. It says before in the Brisa, Oy Shoisa, Oy learning tells Ksuba, she could drink. So what do? Rabbi Nachman says islanders can't drink, could drink. Okay. Ketani Mia, islanders, tifta the Rabbi Nachman. Omalach Rabbi Nachman, this is what we finished off yesterday. We even said these words. It's smack in the middle of the Amud. Tanoi. It's in fact a machlokes tanoim. So you're asking me a kasha from a brisa. The brisa says that you could drink. Islanders could drink because there's a mandom or a tana that says you could. I hold you can't. I hold like another tana that says you can't. It's not a kasha. Another amri kaitana. I hold like the other tana. The Sanya, Reb Shimon ben Elazar Omer. I just realized it's you. Islanders leishoisa v'leinitel suba lishkok for the wine and Pesach. That's all I'm trying to say. Beautiful bottles. Thank you. Islanders leishoisa v'leinitel suba shenemar v'nikso v'nizro zera. There's a special pasuk, and that's what we had yesterday. That even though others could drink, islanders is special. She can't drink because the pasuk says v'nikso v'nizro zera. What happens if she's innocent? Her husband's stam was choshed and she drank the water. She gets a bracha, we know. She's going to have children. Everything's going to be gevaldik. But she's an islandess. That pasuk can't be mekuyim in her. So since it can't be mekuyim, so therefore the waters don't apply to an islander. She doesn't get to drink it. Misha darko Lizareya yotza zu she'ein darko lizareya. Okay. V'Rabbanan hay v'niksav v'nizar zara may avdile. They argue. So what do they learn with these words? V'niksav v'nizar zara. It doesn't come to exclude an idleness. So then what does it come to exclude? Mebaylahu l'gedesanya v'niksav v'nizar zara. Shem hoisa kara nifkedes. It comes to teach us this halacha, that a woman who is barren, she can't have children physically, and she drinks the water, she'll have a special ness. She'll be nifkedes. Divir Rebbe Akiva. Omer Rebbe Shmuel Imkain Yisasru Kol HaKaris V'Yipagdu. So we have a murdic trick. Somebody who can't have children for 15 years, the tsar is unimaginable, right? There's a guy that lives right next door to me, Yitzi Churi. He came, he gave us a whole speech in the shir. 21 years he didn't have a child. 21 years. So his wife could seclude herself and pretend she's a Sotah. Her husband will get upset at her, bring her to the Beis HaMikdash. They're going to erase Hashem's name into a cup of water. She'll drink it, and there'll be a nest. She'll have a kid. It says in the pasuk. There's no jokes here. V'niksav v'nizar zara. That's it. It's haftach from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. B'zu hoyel v'leinistra efsida. And this one, because she was a tzaddikus and she didn't seclude herself, so she should miss out. Doesn't make sense, says Rebbe Shmuel. So first of all, I'm in Borough Park, so I want to tell you the famous mice, but you have to help me out at the end of the mice. I'm telling it to you for something else, for the end. But you really have to help me out, not like before. I think his name, tell me, because I'm Litvish, you know. Rebaruch Memezbich, is that his name? Rebaruch? What do they really call him? The Enikel of the Baal Shem Tov, yeah? Sitting and crying. Comes Baal Shem Tov and says, what are you crying? So I'm crying because I was playing hide and seek. And I hid so well that my chaverim gave up on me. So I'm sitting here for 3 hours and nobody's looking for me. So the Baal Shem Tov started crying. So the Enikel asked the Baal Shem Tov, Zayda, why are you crying? So I'm crying because the Rebbeinu Shalom is hiding from us. And we're not looking for him. We're not looking for him. Zu hoyel v'lo nistero. Nistero. Rebbeinu Shalom, Rabbi Isai is here. We just have to find him. We have to look for him. And therefore, I'm asking you to help me. Ani ma'amin, be'emuno sheleimo, be'emuno be'vias HaMoshiach, be'vias HaMoshiach, ani ma'amin. Nocham, all our boys say everybody together. Even the guys in the back. Ani ma'amin. Ani ma'amin. Be'emuno sheleimo. Be'emuno sheleimo. Be'vias HaMoshiach, be'vias HaMoshiach, ani ma'amin. Yafal pi shehismameya im kol zeh achakelo yavzeh Okay, we could have done better, but the Olam is embarrassed, I hear. Okay. Lamaisa, at the end of the day, if you think about it, Chana, she threatened HaKadosh Baruch Hu also. When she was davening, she said, Rebbeinu Shleilam, if you don't give me a kid, I'm going to become a Sotah. And Yeshua explains, like, I'll become a Sotah. Why should I become a Sotah be'isr? Just give it to me beheter. I don't want to be misyachad with somebody. Just give it to me beheter. Like, she was telling HaKadosh Baruch Hu, if I become a Sotah, then I have to erase the water. I have to erase Hashem's name, and that's awesome. I don't want to go that route. Sort of like a threat, like a threat. Zog the Gemara. Oh. Interesting teretz. Rabbi Shmuel holds that no, you can't do this trick. This trick is not fair. Because then every single akar will go, be misyached, wait until the husband does kinoi, then she'll be misyached again, she'll do stira, and then she'll have a baby. Not fair. But one thing, yes. Shem hoysa yuledis b'tzar, yuledis berevach. She'll get a bracha, but not such a bracha. Somebody who waited for 21 years for a child is not going to get a child. If she usually had some tsar during the labor, that'll go away. No, for that, she's not going to be mistater. She's not going to go through the whole thing of Sotah. Reminds me of all my jokes. It's like we're just doing repeat. Sometimes it's every week, sometimes it's every 6 months, but it's a repeat. This guy was waiting for his wife to give birth. So the doctor comes out and says, Mazel Tov, it's a girl. He says, oh, Baruch Hashem, I have a kid that's not going to have to go through what I just went through for the last 3 hours. Baruch Hashem. Yuledis b'tzar, yuledis b'revach. The tsar that this guy, well, not this guy, the woman had, she's not going to have. Nekeva is yuledis chorim. Now, I don't know if I should say this in English. I don't want to get canceled. In the generation of cancel. If she had a lot of nekevas, she's going to have schorim. Ktsarim, yuledis arukim, she'll have taller kids. Shchorim, yuledis levanim. This I have to be mamish careful. But it means, what it really means is, if she had not good-looking kids, it's not a color. It means not good-looking, she'll have beautiful children. Yuledis levanim. So, just for that, it's not kedai to go through the whole kinui and stira. But we do have to point out again the very, very important yesod here. We know v'yisim nekiyim. A person is mechuyev to conduct himself in a way that other people don't suspect him of wrongdoing. V'yisim nekiyim. V'nimtzo motzachem. We say v'nimtzo motzachem v'seichel toiv be'enei elikim v'adam. V'adam. We have to look good in other people's eyes. So this woman who didn't behave well, her husband warned her, she didn't listen to her husband. And after all that, we award her with good-looking kids, tall kids, all these things. Why? According to Rekiva, she didn't have kids. She's going to have kids. What's the pshat? We said this, we have to say it again because it's a Maridik Yesod. That the idea is not to fall into the Nisayan, not to bring yourself to the Nisayan. But what happens if you do fall into the Nisayan? That's when it's almost impossible to get out. This woman, you're right, she did the wrong thing. She was in the starter. She shouldn't have. Okay, but she did. Now what? Even though she went all the way, she was mistater, but she wasn't even Avera. She was able to control herself. When a person is like all the way down, the person got up late. He missed Shacharis. The Rashiv is upset at him already. The Mashgiach is about to kick him out of yeshiva. His wife is mad at him. What are you doing? He's schluffing in bed. And then he gets up and he diamonds a Shemona Esrei. There's no gain here. It's only one thing. It's between him and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Nobody knows about it. Everybody's upset at him. But he's doing it for himself. For him, for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That you get tremendous schar. This woman, she's in the pits. Her husband's mad at her. He warned her. She was over. But Lamaisa, she wasn't even Avera. She did it for one thing, for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I'm going to control myself, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's tremendous. You shouldn't bring yourself to there. But if you do, that's tremendous. And the schar is tremendous also. Eishes mamzer mamzer. So if a person marries a mamzer, she's allowed to marry. She's right to marry the mamzer. So why shouldn't there be a Sotah? Of course, pshita. Of course, he should give her to drink. Now the same afushe psulim loy leipush. I would think that again, if you're new to Sotah, if this is your first day in Sotah, so I just want to reiterate: we don't give a woman to drink water to see her explode and to punish her. We give her water in order to see whose child it is. We have to decide what's going on here. So this mamzer is going to have children that are mamzerim. Those we'll see soon. So what's the point of giving her water? Either way, she's going to drink the water. It's going to come out that she's tahar. She never did anything. So she gets back to him. And what is she going to have from him? A mamzer. So maybe we don't want more mamzerim in the world. Fakir. Don't give her to drink water. Get divorced and Shalom Yisrael. No, there's still water here for this couple. I mean, it's obvious. If a person is a mamzer, he's going to have children that are mamzerim. In other words, the hashpah that parents have on the children is, we know the hashpah. Somebody came to Rav Volba and said, my kid is 18 years old. Do you have a good eitzah for me? Had a be mechazik him. He said, you came 18 years too late. The biggest hashpah a person has is before Yitziras Havlat. Different kavanas, whatever it is. Now it's already too late. So we had the three category that they do drink. She's the wife of a ger. Eved Meshucher is a regular Jew. An islandess. Pshita, of course, this drinking water, she could be Sotah about the same Adaber El Bnei Yisrael V'lo Gerim Komash Malon. It says Bnei Yisrael. So maybe a ger is not a Ben Yisrael. He's Yisrael, but not a Ben Yisrael. Komash Malon. It's interesting. Taisus points out that from all the limudim that we're going to have, this is the only one. The Gemara says Ve'ema Hachinami. It's not a 50-50, says Taisus. Okay. V'amarta ribuya. Here's the chart. Daber b'nei Yisrael v'amarta. Daber is enough. Tell Klal Yisrael what's v'amarta, and you shall say. So that's an extra word for ribuy. Eishes koya and shoisa. Well, so I don't stamp say words. It's a ribuy to say. The Gemara says maybe ein chanami, not a ger. No, v'amarta even to a ger. Eishes koya and shoisa. Pshita. Why shouldn't the wife of a kohen drink May Sotah? Well, there's no Sotah. The whole parsha of Sotah is only told to Yisrael. Ma'al the same v'hi lo nispasa. V'hi is a miyud. She, only she, wasn't caught. Not caught. Sorry, that's the word in Hebrew. Nispasa means forced. V'hi lo nispasa. She wasn't forced. Asura ho nispasa muteres. It's mashma that if this Sotah, the reason why she's also with her husband, because it wasn't forced. She did it willingly. And what if she was forced? She's let it go back to her husband. But we know that by a kohen doesn't work like that. It's one of the saddest things in the Torah. But if a woman was forced against her will, she can't remain married to her husband, the kohen. V'zu maybe she's not in the parsha at all because it says that there's a difference between forced and not forced, and by the kohen, Aish's kohen, there's no difference. So I think she doesn't get to drink the meisait, the kamashmal, and she does. Umuteres lebala. By the way, I forgot to mention before this year, it's kind of late now, but at Amud Beis, we have a little bit of a sugya for adults more, and I'm going to try to Da'al Hakim Remiza. Umuteres lebala. This Aish's kohen is allowed to go back to her husband. Shita. Omar Avhuna b'misnavna. We're talking about a case where her body starts changing, starts exploding, starts withering, maybe the opposite of exploding, you see that something's going on. So again, this Aish's kohen, she's the wife of the kohen, she drinks the water. Let me see if I can find it here, because we put it in late in the game. Okay. It's over here. Anybody? Oh. So, this is Lachluchas. Says the Gemara, Misnavna. Ask the Gemara, Misnavna, what? Something's changing in her body after she drank the water. That means the water is working on the spot. She should never be allowed to go back to her husband. Says the Gemara, Misnavna derech evarim. So typically, you have the one on the left. Bitna tzava, and her thighs and her stomach where the aveira was done, that's what explodes. Over here, it's misnavna derech evarim, it's other parts of her body, face, hands, whatever it is, that's what's exploding. And memela, it's not because she was over Isser. Mao the same zanoi. Maybe the pshat is that she was over the Isser, but the reason why the waters didn't check it like it typically checks from the stomach, maybe she did it shalei meratzon. It was against her will. The Gemara understands it's very interesting that even though it was against her will, she did something wrong. Maybe she should have watched herself more. To the point that her body is going to change against her will. And since there was a maisa that was done her, you're right, she didn't want anything to do with it, but because she's married to a kohen, she's also to her husband. Kamash Malanda, that's not what's going on here. There's no Isra at all. There's no even Shloi Miratzim. She's mutter to her husband. Isha's Saris Shaisa, the wife of a Saris, a man who can't have children. Says Rashi, we're talking about Sris Chama. Because we know this is also, it's interesting. For me, one of the saddest things in the Torah is a guy's in a car accident, and he can't have children after the car accident. He's not allowed to be married to his wife. Why? Because he's Sris Adam. It happened from a Maisa Adam. Says Rashi, we're not talking about a Sris Adam, we're talking about a Sris Chama. It happened naturally. Baruch Hu caused it. Says the Gemara, so therefore he's allowed to be married to his wife, Pshita, so then why shouldn't she drink the water? Ma'al the same baladei isheich. I just have to, it's a little bit out of order. Here we go. Here's the pasuk. Ba'atki sotis, you veered, you strayed away from your husband. Someone else other than your own husband. Omer Achmana, the Torah says, but he is not capable. Komash malon. No, I would think that you don't drink because it doesn't fit into the words Mibaladei Sheikh. Yeah, you married him, but he's not a bar hachi. He can't have children. Fine. Very interesting that I asked many people over Shabbos, including a Choshev Rav, including a Dayan, a bunch of people, a Magid Shir in Chicago. I asked them the following question, and they all answered basically the same thing. I asked this question live in the Shir in Chicago. They all answered. I never had this because usually when you ask a question, half the people say this and half the people say that, or three-quarters. Everybody said the same wrong answer. Can a husband tell his wife, I don't want you to be misyached with your own father? So everybody says, no, you can't do that. Why? Because the father's already usher. He's an erva. So we learned before Mishnah that you could. But my issue is, the reason why I went around asking people is, I don't have a great answer for this. They're asking people, what do you say? How do you understand by yourself? And 99% of the people told me that they understand that you cannot do kinui to your father, to the wife's father, to the wife's brother. So then what's pshat in the next word in the Gemara? You could make a kinui and warn your wife, don't be misyached with your father with the shver. And if she does, you bring her to the Beis HaMikdash and give it to drink water. That's the Gemara Pshita. Doesn't even have to be in the Mishnah. But everybody that I asked said it's not Pshita. So I don't know. Maybe we're all Amaratzim and Loinit the Torah Amaratzim. I don't know what the Pshat is. Okay. Must be some sort of Pshat. I just want to see. Okay, I mean, real quickly, I just thought it was fascinating stuff. It's not really the place and the thing, but a very interesting thing came out. We're talking about mamzerim, mamzer to mamzer. So there's a shaila la'alocha shaila. Somebody asked the shaila, ma'aser shahaya. A woman gave birth to a mamzer, and she felt really bad about it, and she didn't feed the baby until the baby died. So they went to the Chidah, and the Chidah said that what she did is ritzicha, because a mamzer is a Jew for every halacha. In fact, a mamzer who's a Talmud Chacham comes before a Yisrael who's Amaretz. A mamzer could be a dayan, chutz la'aretz. But then the question was, listen to this. This is what I thought was fascinating. The question was, what about if a woman is pregnant? Could you do something to get rid of the vlad? So the Yavit says that since if it was done b'mezid, if the mother is amazed, she was over Isser, so she's chayiv misa, so the baby is chayiv misa, she's a bar ktala, the baby's as if he's dead because the mother is supposed to die, and Mameli killing a dead baby. Yavitz. Says Ramosha Feinstein, even though the Yavitz is a Gadol Adar, but he doesn't know what he's talking about. He says a very sharp lashon, like he made a mistake, something like that. Dvarim b'teilim heim, he says. Why? He says Mardik. He says that if a person comes to Bezdin, and Bezdin knows that he's chayiv misa, they're about to say you're chayiv misa. It's 100%. There's Eidin Hasra. There's one thing missing, that the Roish Bezdin didn't say chayiv misa. Didn't say those two words, but everybody knows they're about to say it, and then there was a storm, and the lights went out, and comes a guy, takes his gun, and kills that guy. What's the halacha? He's chayiv misa. The guy with the gun is chayiv misa. Says Ramosha Feinstein. So this woman, there's no psak from Bezdin that she's chayiv misa. Yeah, she did something that's chayiv misa. There's no psak. So if there's no psak, so it's not bar ktala, so you can't kill the baby. Most people, I think, most poskim, I just thought it's interesting. Bar ktala, not bar ktala. Okay. Move on. If you, just 1 second, let me see if I could find this new sponsor, because I got yelled at yesterday, and I didn't do tshuva, and Yosef Biliak is not going to be happy with me. Oh. Turning of Daf is sponsored by Greg Haber for Parnosa, Brius, Hatzloch, and Broch for my entire family, Rav Eli, and everyone learning the Daf. Oh, mate. Oh. So, Gemara says, what's the chiddush? Of course, you could do kinoi to a father, to a brother, etc. So just go to this sheet right over here. So that's nitma number one. So the Torah is telling us that not only is she usher to her original husband, she's also usher to the noyev, and that wouldn't apply here because she's already usher to her own father. Since there's already isur, kamash malon. Great. Next, it says that the husband cannot warn his wife not to be with a kata, even though it's possible that his bia is considered a bia above age 9, but there's no drinking water on that. Why? And he cannot warn against somebody that's not a human, not a ish. What does it mean? So now we're going to take us into a Gemara. Maybe because there's a tzibur here and a big tzibur, so maybe we'll finish. And then we're going overtime also, so maybe we'll finish before that sugya. We'll leave it for Yisrael. Akopanim, what's this enoi ish? The Gemara goes, maybe it means an animal, not a ish. Maybe it's a guy. Maybe it means this. So let's see what it is. So shachov seems to be a person that could have relations but can't have kids. Mekanen al yodoi, v'amar Shmuel, mekanen al yodoi, you do kinui on somebody like that. U'poizel b'truma. And if a woman is with a shachov, she can't eat truma. Says Gemara, mekanen al yodoi pshita. Why shouldn't there be kinui? Ma'al the same of shachav ish oisah shichva zera. It says the word zera, Omer Achmona, v'havla barhachihu, he doesn't have zera. Kamash malon. U'poizel b'truma, pshita. Ma'al the same lo yichal zaroi, Omer Achmona, this li zera lechalal, this li zera loy lechalal. Kamash malon. See? Okay, we'll leave that for later. So the question is, what does enoi ish mean? Maybe it means ovid kechavim. Not true. There is kinui for a guy. Okay, so it can't be a guy. But let's just talk about what it means. Of course, there's kinui. The same we had this on top. If you look at the top words on this Amud, we had these exact words. Maybe it means where the noyev becomes usher through this maisa, but not where the noyev was already usher from the day he was born. He's not Jewish, so she's always usher to him. And if she has relations with the guy, she can't eat truma if she's the baskoy pshita. Now the same of baskoy kisi elish zar Omer Achmana. It's kedai maybe to see this pasuk. Baskoy kisi elish zar he bestruma sekadashon loisoichel. Maybe for next time. The bar havaya in the la bar havaya loy. It means kisiya when she married somebody that's in the parish of Kiddushin. A guy is not in the parish of Kiddushin. Let me see if I have. No, not this. I'm just trying to see here aloud what I want to do. Okay. I'll show this just because we passed it. The lo yichalel, it could have said lo yachel. Yichalel is two lames, the extra lamed. Okay. What's going to see the Zora Marchmona, the Baravayin, the La Baravayiloi. Kamash from the apostle, a guy does passel a woman from ever eating truma again. If she's the daughter of a kohen, she can never eat truma again if she's with a guy. Because Rabbi Yochanan says, "Rabbi Yochanan, Mishum Mishmal, Menai Levet Kachavim ve'Evet Shabol HaKehenes v'Alaviyah v'Albas Yisrael Shipsaluha." How do we know that they made her apostle? So we said, here, let me just see. Now I know what I'm looking for. No, it's a little out of order. I apologize. No, varnished. Okay. Oh. No. Okay, forget it. It has to be a type of marriage that you become an almana, you become a grusha. Obviously, if you're going to marry a guy, there's no get. You're not considered an almana. Eishes Re'eu, the pasuk says. Here's the pasuk you want to see. Eishes Re'eu. I think that's what we were looking for. By the way, Stav, if you want to see a little animation that Yoshi was working on, it's not complete, but I'll show it to you anyways. The covered bar part. Here's a potato head, a Noyev guy. Here's two Edim. Altis 3 in Ploini. Something happened over there. Okay. Ubas Kohen Kisi Almon Grush V'Zera Ein Lo V'Shava B'Yisavia Kin Re'ah Melechem Avia Toichel V'Chol Zor Lo Yochal B'Y V'Elu Mutimai. So again, we're going back all the way, like 5 lines from the top of the Amud. V'She'enoi Ish. We learned in the Brayso, if a person is not a man, then there's no Sotah water. Omer Apapa L'Mute Behema. He told his wife, don't be with a behema. She didn't listen. Dein znus behema. What does that mean? Let's not confuse this. It's 100% awesome deraisa to be with a behema. But it's not considered znus. It's isser. It's just like this talking lashon hara, different isurim, but it's not znus. So it doesn't make her usher to her husband. How do I know this? Unbelievable. There's only one animal that if you trade that animal for a sheep, so you go to the sheep dealer and you give the sheep dealer a small dog and he gives you a sheep, you're not allowed to bring it as a carbon. It's a switcheroo for a dog, it's awesome. Esnan Zoina is if a Zoina made money on znus, she can't use that money for a carbon. Now listen to this. Betanya esnan kelev u'mechir zoyna mutarin. Shenemar shnayim v'loy arba. So let's see Rashi inside. Esnan kelev shem adam oimer lezoyna heilich tolev yibali lekalbi. He tells the zoyna, here's a tle yibali lekalbi. So if we just take this case, it says that you could use that money, even though she's mizana with a behema, with a kelev. You could use that money for a carbon. So what do you see? You see, it's not znus. Because if it was znus, then any money that she gets from znus is included in esnan zoyna. But esnan kelev, this weird case of esnan kelev, is not in the pasuk. Why? Because it's not znus. It's usr, 1000% usr. Terrible, terrible isser. She's not getting out of Gehenna. But znus, it's not. That's the raya that ain't znus lebehema. Fine. We'll stop right over here. Aboisai, have a wonderful day. Yishkoyach so much for coming by. And don't forget to sign up if you're not part of the shir. Sign up. Hold on, Rabbi Isai. I think before you leave, if you don't mind, everybody, it'll be Mamash Kiddush Hashem if we can take a picture. Yeah, that's what you want? Nobody has to move. Everybody stay where you are. I'm going to come down. That's it. But don't move. The guys on top, Yishkoyach. What's your name over there? Yishkoyach. Yishkoyach. Hold on, I got to take this in for a second. It's unbelievable. Wow. All right, Belsky, so I'll let you see. I recognize faces.
Okay, after the group photo, Rabbi Eli's going to come back on stage. Everyone can go meet him one by one. Everyone can take an individual picture, which you'll have access to after the shir, no problem. So again, Rabbi Eli's going to come back up in the shir. If any Shamim Chaver can help make Seder after that. Rabbi Eli's going to come back up on the shir afterwards on the stage. I'll go on one. Eli, you're going to make sure the matzah there. Yisrael, you'll take pictures of people, yeah? Also, after this, there's Chulent and Kogo downstairs, sponsored by Mo Landy, Linishmas of Shai, Ben Moshe. Now here we go, to Yisrael Goldstein.
1, 2.
Everyone look over here.
Good morning, everybody. 1, 2, 3. 1, second, wait. You're in now. Good morning, everybody. 1, 2, 3, I'm going. Good morning. Okay, for the picture. 5, 4, beautiful. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. I'm not in the picture. Somebody want to get me in? Take a few. It's free. Here. Wait.
Ready? Hold on. There we go. Ready? Look here. 1, 2. Okay.
Okay, so I need someone else up here as well. We'll go one by one. I get some more Shamar Chaver here to help me here. You stand right over here. You stand right here. We'll go one by one. I know. I need some people here. Surely, can we get more people here, Shamar Chaver? Okay, go. Yisrael, no, you'll do it? Yisrael. All right, it's going to come up here and just exit over there, one by one. And remember, there's children that could go downstairs. Tons of children that could go downstairs. Surely, get me some chevra up here. Next. Good.